This bit on pricing of discounted securities is sponsored by Examinator Online, the platform to go to for SFC exam practice questions. Now, the pricing of discounted securities is almost always examined with numerical questions, and this bit shows you how to perform the calculation. Now, the theoretical underpinnings of pricing discounted securities comes from the concept of future and present values. Well, it's actually present value, but to explain the concept, we're going to look at both future and present values by applying compound interest. Now, what we see on the screen, we've got a PV, a present value of $100. So that's the value today. An interest rate of 6% and the number of periods, 3. We could say there were years, so the 6% is the annual interest rate. What is the $100 going to be worth at the end of the 3 periods, at the end of the 3 years? The way we do that is we apply compound interest. We compound that value for 3 years. So we multiply it by 1.06 to get the value at the end of year 1, $106. We do it again to get the value at the end of year 2 by applying 6% interest. We multiply the 106 by 1.06. And finally, by multiplying the amount at the end of year 3 by 1.06, we arrive at what the value will be at the end of year 3. That is the future value, which is 119.10. Now, if we were to reflect that by way of a formula, the compounding formula, here it is. The future value is equal to the present value, the 100, multiplied by 1 plus R, R being the annual interest rate in this case, raised to the number of periods. So we can see that we multiply the principal by 1.06 3 times. So we raise 1 plus R to the power 3. Now, what if we want to go backwards, which is what we want to do when we're pricing discounted securities? Then we will go in reverse to get the present value. So we will divide 1.19.1 by 1.06. That will get us back to 112.36. Again, we will divide it by 1.06 to arrive at 106. And finally, we will divide 106 by 1.06 to give us the present value. So through this idea of discounting, we have shown that the present value of 119.10 now is $100. So 119.1 in 3 years' time is worth $100 today, assuming an interest rate, annual interest rate of 6%. Now, if we were to put that into a formula, there it is. And you can see this time, it's the present value we're calculating. We take the future value and then we divide it 3 times. And we do that by dividing by 1 plus the interest rate R raised to n, the number of periods. So that is the theoretical concept behind future and present values. Now let's apply the concept of discounting to the pricing of discounted securities. The example of 120-day banker's acceptance has a face value of 100,000 Hong Kong dollars with an annual interest rate of 9%. What is the fair price? Now, this could be a classic examination question. Now, you will notice that we don't have 2-3 years as a period. It's 120 days. And discounted securities tend to have a maturity of less than 1 year. So the formula we use is slightly different. Let's have a look. There it is. So the price is the future value, 100,000. That is the future value that we're going to receive when the banker's acceptance matures. We are going to discount it by 1 plus R to the n. Well, no, n is 1. In fact, it's less because it's within 1 period, 1 year. And so what we do is we take the annual interest rate, which is given to us as 9%, and we're going to reduce it. And we just do it proportionally. We take the number of days to maturity, 120, and divide by 365, number of days in a year. Remember to use 365. Some questions can be nasty and they'll give you the calculation if you inadvertently use 360. Always denominator in that case is 365. So there you are. That is the formula for pricing discounted securities. Remember it. When you get into the exam, write it down on a piece of paper so that if and when you come to the question, you can slot in the numbers. Once again, it's the future value, the face value of the security divided by 1 plus the interest rate multiplied by number of days to maturity, which is divided by 365. And if we perform that calculation, we get 100,000 divided by 1.029589, giving us 97,126.13. Now, in many questions, you will be given the example as we are faced here, and the answer is 97,126.13, and they'll give you 4 possible answers. But you can also come across a question where they will give you the face value, they will give you the fair price currently, and they ask you for the interest rate. So you have to isolate the interest rate algebraically and then perform the calculation. Now, some candidates are not comfortable with that. So another way to approach such a question is that the answer will be 4 interest rates. Set up the formula and then slot in the interest rate and see if it works, if it does equal the current fair price. If you're taking that approach and the answer is A, it's good news. If it's D, it's not so good news, because usually people will slot in the number A, B, C, D. As ever, to practice pricing of discounted securities questions, go to Examinator Online, where you will find many such questions.